Okay, we'll try to do this, and maybe you can see from my camera angle here what I'm trying to show you. First thing you need to do is you take your blade or your piece of steel, whereas this is just a piece of steel I'm using for demonstration purposes. Take it, you want to make sure you use some alcohol or methanol or acetone or fingernail polish remover or something and clean the surface of the metal really good. You don't want no grease or anything on it. You want it clean. Then you're going to select some fingernail polish. This is orange. Normally I wear pink, but this is orange. So, however big your logo is going to be, naturally your blade's only going to be so big, so you want to pick a logo that suits you. Your initials, your name. I have a C arrow, but you want to coat a larger section of the blade with fingernail polish. Doesn't have to be a real thick coat, but just make sure that it's coated. Then you want to let your fingernail polish dry for 5 minutes maybe. You don't want it to get really super hard before you engrave your name into it. In the meantime, take your container and take you a little bit of vinegar. Very little. I mean, maybe 3 or 4 teaspoonfuls. Not much, as you can see. Not much. Then, just some salt. And just pretty much what you can pinch between your finger and thumb, which is not much. That's it. Then you want to take a clean Q-tip and you want to stir this up till it dissolves. Stir your salt up really good till it dissolves in the vinegar. Okay. Now, you kind of want to fray the end of the Q-tip out a little bit. Just give it a twist in your solution to where it's actually gonna stick down a little farther than it normally would. So, just leave that soaking in your solution right at the moment. Set it off to the side. This time, your fingernail polish is probably dry enough to engrave your logo in. Now, this is a ballpoint pen with no ink in it. I don't think you're going to have a problem with ink coming out of one, but it's best to use one that's dried up and preferably a fine point. And you just want to engrave your name or logo into it. Wipe off the fingernail polish that's on the end of the pen. And as you can see, there's my logo. If you can see it. I always brace my knife up on a couple blocks. And what I'll do is I will take my Q-tip and my solution and I'll start dabbing water over top of my logo to where it's going to be a puddle over the logo, but nowhere else. It's pretty much going to be a big bead of water. I don't know if you can see the big bead of water or not, but that's what it's going to be. Then I made this. This is just a weight, a shaft that you can rotate and pivot, and I welded a pair of hemostats on the end of it to clamp my wet Q-tip. I set it down. This is a 6-volt Moultrie battery charger. It's for a game camera, or actually a game feeder, I'm sorry, but it's a 6-volt DC charger. And you'll take the positive lead, that's the red one if you're from Ohio or Indiana, and you clamp that on there. Then you take the negative lead and you're going to clamp onto the hemostats. Now you can use any variation of this you want. I used to use a piece of a brazen rod and a vise for years, but this works fine. So you want to clamp the wet part of the Q-tip and the hemostats. And then you want to lower this down where it touches the very top of the puddle. You don't want it to touch the metal at all with a knife or the fingernail polish. Then you're going to turn on the power or plug it in my case. And you're going to watch it. And it's going to take 5-10 minutes, as long as you want to leave it there. I've left it as little as 2 minutes. I've left it as long as 10 minutes. It just etches a little deeper if the longer you leave it. But you also want to keep an eye on it. Don't walk away from it and leave it, because you want to make sure that it still has make sure it still has solution over the puddle. And if it's getting a little dry because the vinegar will boil away, just take a medicine dropper or another Q-tip and just add a little bit more on top of your puddle. Now, as you can see, the logo getting darker. It's etching the metal away right now as we speak. Vinegar, salt, and 6-volt current. 6-volt DC. This is pretty exciting work. My helper usually gets tired at this point. So she's resting. If you make a knife, if it's worth making, pretty much, it's worth putting your name on. So, no matter how good it is or how bad it is, if you made it, don't be ashamed. Put your name on it, or throw it away, or get rid of it so nobody can see it. One or the other. Now, it's been probably 2 minutes, I don't know, not very long, but I'll just show you what it's done so far. First thing you want to do is want to make sure no liquid, well, first of all, unplug it, turn it off. Make sure no liquid drops on the bare metal anywhere else, because it will stain your blade. It will also etch your blade, even though there's no current hooked up. It's acidic, so it will eat that clean blade away. So it's best to soak up all the liquid off of it. Then unhook all your stuff, move it back out of the way. And here is where you would take, I'm using methanol, but alcohol, fingernail polish remover, whatever you got, acetone, anything that don't leave a residue. Here's where you want to clean it. So just scrub until you get rid of all the fingernail polish. Then you can give her a squirt with Windex to clean all the crud off, to make sure all the acid's gone, because Windex contains ammonia and it neutralizes acid. Or you can use baking soda and water and just scrub it. But when you're done, you see the logo, little Sierra, and it's in there. I mean, you can scratch it with your fingernail. I mean, it's down in the metal. Pretty cool for 6-volt DC current, vinegar, and salt. Maybe that helped you, bud.